This week, I didn't even pick up the book, but I want to say this. If you are interested in really changing your life around where spiritually things are just going to reveal itself naturally, and what's crazy about this is I think creativity and connecting to God and your higher self moves crazy mountains behind the scenes that when it hits the physical, it's like, holy crap. I can't believe that is the message. This week is about finding an identity. You're finding safe in your identity. And as somebody who's still finding that and who's still aligning to that, the word that came out to me last night during my pages was bravery. Being fearful and doing the things that you're scared of is making you brave. And I think a lot of creative people need to understand that your truth, even if it's dark, is still your truth. And I think it's brave to use your voice in a way to show people that there's light at the end of darkness. And if somebody has treated you in a way that has made you who you are today, I think that you should share that. And this is something that I need to tell myself, and this is a note to self. We want to protect people's images, we want to protect people's feelings, we want to protect what we feel like is love and what we built, but the truth is, if that person, if that image, if that feeling was truly cared for before the action happened, the action wouldn't have happened. So if part of your truth is expressing the things that has happened to you, if a part of your creativity is expressing the things that happened to you, you need to tell the full truth. Don't take parts out. Don't make the other person look a little bit good. No, tell it how it is, because somebody needs that. That's a part of being a creator. And the ideas that you have in your head is from God. It's not from the devil, because the devil would never try to have you promote light and dark. It would just have you promote darkness, have you promote trauma. But if your life was filled with trauma and that made you the creative person that you are now, then that's what you need to express. You can't hide that part of yourself. And this is something that I just learned yesterday. The truth is, I have been dimming huge aspects of myself, and it's I'm not doing that anymore, because who am I trying to protect? Who am I trying to save? Am I trying to save the people that abuse me? Am I trying to protect the people that has hurt me? And it's so crazy, because the book has been literally opening me up to a different perspective when it comes to art. Today I am feeling kind of sad due to some circumstances that happened. I did not react. Instead, I did learn a valuable lesson from it. But it's the voice in my head about love. It's so crazy how much the love of a person, the love of a thing, can stir these emotions within yourself. It's for me, I didn't realize how much of an intense lover I am. And I feel like that's a lot, because this passion that I've always had, I've never felt was in me, because of all the people that I've loved that didn't love me back. And it's the one person that I love so much, it's there's just so much distance. And I feel like that itself is another thing to make as art. A lot of people might not see it as art, and rather painful But this growing love, if others, like, I feel like people, only certain people understand this, but if this growing love is so loud, it has to exist in this world. It can't be something that's hidden. And I feel like hiding it is what's painful. Hiding it is what brings these tears. Because it's like I'm hiding a part of myself, and I don't deserve to be hiding that part of myself. I deserve to show up as the lover that I am. I shouldn't have to dimmer that part of myself at all. And there's so many times where I felt like I had to dimmer that part of myself just because of the fear of abandonment, the fear of being abandoned. And I don't want to feel like that anymore, because that love is the creativity. That's what makes me me. I don't want to hide that anymore from the world, from myself. I just want to show up and be the lover that I am. I don't want to have to put up a fight and ego because other people are doing it. I know that love is freedom, and obsession is kind of control. And that's why I have been allowing myself to be less obsessed and more in love. There's just this thought in my head where believing in love is impossible. And I feel like really, truly the only thing that will help me be successful as an artist is to love everything and not to have this obsession over success or this obsession over anything. I just feel like the only thing that I need is love here. And I feel like for my journey, accepting that I love someone as deeply as I do, instead of running from it and denying it, is me allowing myself to feel the love. I feel like when you project that feeling and you lie to yourself and deceive yourself, like, oh, it doesn't matter, like, it can be replicated, and it really can be replicated. That's the thing. It can't be replicated. Every single day, I see what the product of my old environment was. A loveless life. A life without love. Love is a feeling to me. Love is not something that you see. It's something that you feel. It's something that's embedded in the spirit. And I feel like a part of creativity is love. And I feel like if you abandon any type of feeling of love, you're abandoning that creativity, that inner child in yourself, because the reason why you feel so deeply in love is because it's the child in you that has never felt it. And allowing myself to be in love and loved is scary. I'm very scared. I am. 27 years almost of abandonment. 27 years of silence, of hiding who I really am. I'm scared that once I show the world who I really am, I'm going to be loved so much that it's going to be taken from me, and I don't want nothing to be taken from me anymore. I'm tired of it. I just want to live a life full of peace. And Artist Way is so freaking powerful, guys. Like, week 2, it's really I didn't even read it yet, but just the message, the synchronicities that's around me, it's all making sense. Everything that's popping up, it's for me to feel my emotions, and it's for me to understand that this is a part of being an artist, being emotional, being in tuned, and being paying attention and just seeing things, seeing the lessons, seeing what God is trying to say here, what things you need to let go of, what things you need to do more of, what things you need to allow into your life. And for me, it's real love, not surface level, not the ones that try to silence you, not the physical, oh, I put a roof over your head, oh, I did this for you. It's none of that. It's the love that builds you. It's the love that changes you. It's the love that makes you the person that you are today. And I think I'm ready to accept it completely instead of abandoning it, because I deserve it. I deserve this love. Good morning, y'all. Yesterday, I did not have a good day. I was sleeping most of the day, crying most of the day, and just overall lazy feeling. But today, I'm gonna have a better day. I feel like the reason why I'm displaying this is because sometimes as an artist we do not have the best days, but we can't let the one bad day that we have turn into a bad week. We can't turn one bad week into a bad month, and we can't turn a bad month to a bad year, because that energy spillage is very easy to get back into the same habits. It's about paying attention to the habits that you have and changing them and becoming new so you can be this person that you always are. So yeah, I had a bad day yesterday, but we're gonna have a better one. I'm about to go to the gym. I started my morning page, but I really feel like I need more energy because I'm so sleepy. I popped in some caffeine gum. I'm about to go to the gym, work on my legs, walk 10K steps, and we'll probably be back to the morning pages. I want to be able to write all 3 in the morning, but I'm working on it. I'm at the point in my life where I'm seeing life from such a different perspective. It's like my ego finally has dissolved. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. It's literally just me. It's me and this creation and this beautiful life that God has gave me. And I think, living in the ego and looking for love outside of yourself and not realizing that there's love always around you and in you and existing in you, like, life is really a beautiful place. There's so much beauty in the world. There's so much love everywhere, and I'm just happy to be alive. I'm just happy to be grateful. I'm at a point in my life where it's like I don't care about the fame as much anymore. I don't care about the numbers. All I care is about connections and actually appreciating them. I lost so many people in my life, and I don't think that I've ever appreciated people. I think I just only cared about myself in a level of ego and only wanted to control stuff. And I never really was living. I was just doing what society told me to do. But now seeing that life is literally about just creation and seeing life from a creative perspective, seeing the trees and seeing like the car that we drive in, like these are all things that people created. Like we all are a unit anyway. Like we all are a unit anyway, because without the things that we provided for each other, we wouldn't even be existing to day. Yes, I'm crying because I'm very grateful, but it's like, how could we hate our own creation? You know, like, how could we hate what we do? How could we hate ourselves? Like, there's so much to love about everybody. Like, even if they aren't the best person, there's still something that they've done that helped somebody else if you don't even realize it. And I just feel like there's always a positive, and I feel like once you really let go of hate and ego, you get to see how beautiful life is. And that's why I'm so sensitive. Like, I've hit a level of frequency just in like 2 days where I just see everything that around me, and it's so beautiful. This is how I would see things when I was on shrooms, and I wouldn't have this type of perspective, but now I do. And it's like, this is the way that I want to live life. I just want to see the beauty in everything and beauty in everyone, because there's so many things to be grateful about now, today. And yesterday I had a bad day. I was literally reacting to the day before and how I responded to it, and I was just like upset with myself because I know better. But it's like, I needed that because now I'm here seeing things from a different lens again, because I have been opened up to a new wave. And it's all started from Artist Way, like, no lie. It's like, shit, I'm focusing on creativity, I'm focusing on creation, and I see trees, and it's like the trees are beautiful, the sky is beautiful, the sun, the cars, just people. Everything is just so beautiful. There's nothing that I have to hate on. There's nothing that I want to hate on. I just want to live in love. And I think that comes with a huge part of healing your inner child. It's letting go of the wounded one. The wounded one who's endured a lot of trauma and abuse. And I let her go yesterday. I cried my last tears and saying, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm literally going to deal with love and love only. And here I am crying because I just saw a post on TikTok, and it just reminded me of what I experienced all day. Like, I started literally pouring down in tears because of how pretty a flower was, and that God made that flower, and it's existing in the same realm as me, and it's just there, you know? And it's just like, certain relationships, certain connections that I had, I didn't appreciate until they were gone, and I don't want to live in that anymore. Here's Simba. This was my cat, this is my baby. And to have him in my hands like this and not like here anymore, it's just, you really gotta just love the life that you have, the people that's in it, regardless. It's not about their flaws. I swear it's not about their flaws. It's just about the connection of it all. The happiness that they bring you, not the mistakes that they make. And although me and Simba, we had such a great connection, and I loved him so much, and he could do no wrong in my eyes, it's losing him and never being able to see him again, and thinking that I had all the time in the world, when in reality we don't. And I'm here to say this: you don't have all the time in the world to decide that you love yourself now. Decide that you love now. Stop healing. Stop blaming yourself. Stop blaming your reactions. Just allow yourself to ease into love and to feel it. You deserve to experience love in your body. And yes, my hair looks crazy, by the way. I'm in the middle of doing my hair and getting dressed and stuff like that. I just had this epiphany because I just came across this TikTok, and it all just came back, the message that I wanted to say. Cherish what you have.
love that person through their flaws, because the connection is what matters. Not the drama, not the mistakes, not any of that, because all of that is pushing you to one thing, and it's still love. Everything is pushing you to love. So to be able to dissolve my ego this much, and it's just like it's happening, like I feel like I'm really transitioning into a new world. I don't hate anyone. I don't have a dislike for anyone, and I don't want to. You know, if people don't like me, they don't like me, but I love people, because people bring and make this world, as much as people make this world a bad place, and that's what we focus on, people also make this world a good place. And I feel like when I dwell in that, that's when I'm able to see beyond the illusion. I'm a very emotional person. I just finished getting ready, so I'm dressed now. I didn't even start reading the book yet, but this week it's about identity. And before I even read it, it just feels like an identity shift switched in me, and I feel it just a second. Like I feel like I'm in a new reality. And it's so different, because it's like today it was hard to write. Like I only wrote this much, and I have like literally 2.5 pages to go. But what I'm coming to realization is I have been living in such a hateful heart for such a long time. My heart is opening up, and now it's just like, since I'm like in this creative energy and seeing that like everything is creation, it's like I'm gonna have to win, because I'm constantly creating 24/7, and it's just allowing yourself to win, you know? So I'm about to start reading the book. I'm gonna try to finish this page at least, because I have so much work to do. It's ridiculous. So right now we are talking and reading The Artist's Way, week 2. And right now it's saying to protect yourself from people that could put fear and doubt into you, and that could make that voice in your head, that old self, pop out. And I had this realization before I even touched this chapter, and that's why I was having such a tough day yesterday, because it was like this realization of like, oh my gosh, I do have to actually leave people behind for me to grow. And it's not like, oh, I gotta leave them behind forever, but in this next part of my life, and this creative endeavor that I really want to take serious, I have to. And one thing about me, I'm very private on the things that really mean so much to me. Like my music, I have yet to show anyone. Like I'll show people snippets, but I will not show people the whole song, because again, I can't afford anyone's negative opinions right now. I have to become so obsessed and confident in that song and just drop it and then just let people have their opinions then, versus getting opinions from people and people giving me nasty criticism for it. So it's like everything that I'm doing now, I'm doing privately. I'm not telling people what I'm doing. I mean, I am showing my progress, because I feel like my progress is going to be a good documentary for when I do like succeed in everything that I'm doing. So I don't mind sharing it with my fellow creatives out there that are doing the same things as me, but like I do not want to risk being like giving someone permission to slander something that I know that it shouldn't be slandered. I also feel like it's very real that you should have friends that build you up and don't take away from you. I feel like when you are spending all your creative juices doing other people's favors and not actually doing what you want to do to your core, because you could like sit here and invest in like doing stuff for other people, but like to your core it's like, do you really want to do this? And I was a photographer in the past, and I used to take pictures of people, but I ended up hating photography because of the people that it attracted to me. It attracted the worst types of people that you can imagine. They turned something that was so fun to something that was horrible, because the second that it turned into money for me, and this is why I now detach money from things, because once it starts becoming a money grab, this is when it's just not fun anymore. And I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but for me, I attracted the worst people. Like at first I had the best people because they saw me as someone that was artistic and they let me be artistic. Then there's people that, you know, just want to use you for your artistic energy, and I don't like that. I feel like what I need is to be around others who can add to my art and I can add to theirs, and it's like a collaborative thing. But if it's not that, then I'm only doing my own thing, because I know that I can execute it and feel good about it and put it out there all alone. You know, I don't want anyone to steal my passion from me anymore. For a long time, I hated touching the camera just because of the trauma that came with it and the crowd that I attracted. So yes, it's very important that a part of this process is private. It's very sacred. It's very, you deserve to do this with someone that it's also in a sacred connection with you. I just feel like when you're in that sacred connection, you know, you understand each other, you know each other's weaknesses, you know each other's strengths. So when it comes to art, it's about building the person, and I feel like you should always have people that build you, so that the censor in your mind is, you know, the negative voice in your head, the self-doubt, the old self is completely canceled, period. But if you are still attracting others that remind you of your old self and how your old self would talk, it's like, I'm not interested. And I feel like art is about creation, and I want to actually enjoy and love things, and I don't want people to ruin it for me. Like I said, I love everybody. People do bring good things to the table, but there's some people that could steal that joy from it. And I feel like the whole point of really tapping into your creative endeavors is to enjoy the process, not to hate it. I think the most important thing as an artist is to know your worth. Something that I've really struggled on is that I didn't know my worth. I didn't know what I was lucky with. I didn't know what I was born with. Ego was a really big thing. Like I was explaining before, ego was my life. The ego mind that I used to live in was my identity. Now that I'm shifting it and making it more into my heart and more into love, it's like I'm sensitive to everything now, because I see how beautiful everything is. I see that everything is art. I see that everything is creation. And since everything is creation, I know that the creation that I create is natural. It flows. So once you understand the concept of God and how God literally brings everything to life, down to the world that you live in, down to the house that you live in, down to the sheets that you lay underneath, all these things was created. This was all started by the mind. This was all started by the idea. This was all somebody's creative endeavor. My mom made this blanket, these blankets. Okay, Julia Cameron, she made this book, the challenge that we're doing. Okay, someone else made this book. These were all ideas. These were all things. Somebody created this. Geico. Somebody created these headphones. Okay, somebody created this fake 100. These are all ideas. These are all ideas. This is all creation. Your idea is so valuable. I don't care if it's just a sheet of paper. I paid for this. I spent money on this. My mom made me this, so I didn't spend money on it because she gave it to me. But the point is, people spend money naturally. It's a natural thing, just like creation is a natural thing. It's all in one source. So of course your work is going to be great. Of course it's going to work out. Of course everything is going to happen the way that it needs to. Because everything is creation. This pen, we need it to write. Someone created it. This was an idea. This was something that someone made. You really don't know how your creation someone might need. So understand that you need to know that your self-worth in this is the most important ingredient for you to even begin. And it's just crazy because fourth page in, before I even read it, it's like this book is shifting. Like soon as I decided to pick up this book, it's like my spirit is matching with it. So like I said, your self-worth is an ingredient. So make sure that you know that. Make sure you know your worth.
way to the gym, and this dream I had was so weird, like really weird. I had to write it down so I can decipher it, because I feel like I don't understand why I had that dream. And I'm trying to figure out what my subconscious mind is telling me, because I just feel like I'm the type of person that pays attention to everything, because I really want to move on with my life and really start my dream. When I have dreams that I had last night, I'm like, this seems very old. I don't like that. Today I literally woke up, went to the gym, and went to sleep, because I feel like when you have these types of things, it's a reminder to slow down, rest, and just to live in this present moment. I'm currently doing my morning pages, but I feel like pulling something from this God Promises to see what message that we need to hear right now. So I'm gonna pull something. Faith. Faith. Okay, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of the not seen. Hebrews 11-1. So then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Romans 10:17. For I say, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than one he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith. This one is the truth. I definitely agree with that. Like, when you start to think that you are better than others, and there's nothing wrong with like thinking that you're that person, you're that girl, but like when it's like an ego thing, it's still putting yourself in competition with other people. You're literally not in competition with anyone, because there's no competition. If you're in competition with someone, you're in competition with your old self. Looking on to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. So Jesus said to him, because of your unbelief, for surely I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. So Jesus answered and said to him, have faith in God, for surely I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask for when you pray, believe that you have received them, and you will have them. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. For we walk by faith, not by sight. As a creator, I really love for we walk by faith, not by sight, because when you start something new, you see it on a piece of paper. We're going to use my painting for example. I'm a new painter, okay? Someone that's been painting for 20 years will be like, oh my gosh, this is blah, 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 right? And that will be like your censor in your head. It's like, oh my gosh, this is not good enough. But for me, this is perfect, because I'm walking by faith, not by sight. And even though in sight it's not that bad, it's really, to me, it's really good. But I know that it could be better, but that's not my point. My point is I'm going to keep going, because I know that at the end, one day, I'm going to be exactly where I want to be, because we're not walking by sight. We are walking by faith, and that is everything in your creative life. Imagination, the things that you daydream about, is something that you've already done. So keep, walking by that faith, because imagination to me is faith. You see yourself in a different reality, it's because you are, okay? But when you get caught up here, it's like, okay, well, what now? Don't worry about now. Don't worry about now. Worry about now.
your ideas, what God is telling you, what you see in your mind, what you feel in your heart. Okay? Me, I'm now in an identity of love, not lack. And everything looks different from everybody, okay? Love may be to pamper yourself. Love may be to take care of your body. Love may be to cut off people who don't match the energy of love. Love for me is seeing every single detail of creation and knowing that since I'm created, I can create anything that I want. Anything. Because for me, this is, yes, artist's way, but for me, this is also building the reality that I want. Because we are artists in every aspect. Not just in the creative one, but in the creative one for our life. Crazy makers like drama. If they could swing it, they are the star. Everyone around them function as a supporting cast, picking up their cues, their interests and exits from the crazy makers' crazy whims. You know what? I got crucified to the cross and cut off because I always said this. I'm the type of person that believes in self more than I believe in pouring into others. Because you do yourself and you do others another disservice when you're not pouring into yourself. When you spend your entire world literally doing everything for everybody else, you're not helping them. This is what made me stop doing that and start focusing on me, because more people get more help when you are using your ideas, when you are using the gift that God gave you for the thing that you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be building somebody else's brand. You're not supposed to be walking around like a background character, being used, being walked all over, not getting paid for the work that you're doing. Like, and then you end up hating this thing. You end up hating it so much that you don't even want to do the things that you have in your heart and your mind, because you're so embedded in trying to people please and do things for the crazy makers. I always said this, and I used to feel like a bad guy for saying this, because I see through energy drainers. Crazy makers are just energy drainers, what I like to call demonic forces that takes you away from your divine purpose, that takes you away from your life, that takes you away from being a creator, doing what God told you to do, you living your desired reality. Now you're stuck in an illusion, because the illusion is, hey, I don't believe in myself. I'm actually am the supporting cast. I'm the person that is the background character. I really don't matter. What matters is this person in their life and me doing whatever I want for them. If you consider those types of people your friends, hate to say it to you, they're not your friends, because friends push you to do your art. And not the art that they want you to do for them, the art that you want to do for yourself. So if you are around people that is taking advantage of your creative endeavors, and even down to, let's say you don't have any creative endeavors, but you know that you have a lot of advice and you try to help people change their life, stop doing that. You change your life, you change yourself, you change the lives of everybody else around you. Stop trying to build other people and build yourself. You are wasting your time, energy trying to do that. Okay? Build yourself. Helping yourself helps other people. That's literally what God said in the Bible. Changing your world changes the world around you. So it starts from you. You trying to control others. You trying to control the outside world by doing things on the outside and not going within is why you are attracting a bunch of crazy makers. People that pull you away from what you're supposed to be really doing. This is really important, because this is what a lot of people get stuck in. They get stuck in that illusion and they never get out, because they're so obsessed with people pleasing and they're so obsessed with doing everything for everyone. Some of the most profoundly destructive crazy makers I have ever encountered are themselves famous artists. They are the kind of artists that give the rest of us bad names, often larger than life. They acquire the status by feeding on the life energies of those around them. For this reason, many of the crazy artists in America are found surrounded by a cadre of supporters as talented as they are, but determined to subvert their own talent in the service of the crazy making king. Now, what that means to me is that a lot of people, everybody's artists, whether or not they tap in or not, but some people are way bigger artists than others. I feel like a lot of the bigger artists use a lot of smaller shadow artists that like don't have much of a voice or don't believe in themselves or are more in their old self way of thinking, like, you know, I'm really a nobody, so since I'm a nobody, you know, I'm willing to do this to become somebody. Because if I can be underneath this famous crazy artist, then I will be somebody. But that is false. You are somebody because God created you. That's it. You are somebody because God created you. I don't care about a status. I don't care about a name. I don't care about followers. I don't care about what these people do. You are an artist because God created you to be an artist. So when we have this thinking that I have to be underneath somebody to become this artist, or I have to do slave work so that I can be appreciated, you are already appreciated, because in the realm, there's a realm that exists where your art is appreciated by numerous of supporters. But you can't be an artist being underneath people that don't really want to put you out there, because they want to be the main character, and that's their goal. Their goal is to use you so you can push them out to be the main character. And I must say that this is not the way to become the greatest artist, okay? This is the way to literally be in an identity that, hey, I'm really not good enough, I'm a shadow artist. And you'll start feeling less good enough once you see that you don't even get the tag that you need to become this big artist by the person that you think is going to make you into a big artist. Only you can make you into a big artist, by the way. Over the past 2 decades, I have watched many directors at work. I was married to a profoundly gifted director, and I have directed a feature myself. I have often remarked how closely a film crew resembles an extended family. In the case of this crazy maker king, the crew resembled nothing so much as an alcoholic family. The alcoholic drinker thinker surrounded by his tiptoeing enablers, all pretending that his outsized ego and his concomitant demands were normal. As somebody who has been in a trauma bond with my bosses in a different way. I used to be a sex worker, a stripper, and a lot of people wouldn't consider stripping art because they see what society has programmed you to believe about strippers, you know, that we, you know, do stuff for money and we have sex for money and stuff like that. That was never me. I literally was a stripper because I loved pole dancing. Pole dancing to me is a form of art and a self-expression that I didn't think that I even have, but I loved it so much. And that's what I was there for, and that's where I got most of my money from, was the pole. And that was like an art, a form of art for me that I was addicted to in a way, but I was more addicted to the money than I was the art. I won't lie to you. That's why I had to remove myself, because I was getting more in like a really big fat ego because I had a lot of money, and I didn't like that version of me at all. But I was addicted to my boss. I loved them. Even though they hurt me a lot, I loved them, and whatever they said I would do. I completely dropped my artistic life for this. I did not pick up a camera. I did not do anything pertaining to art. Once I started to do art again, which was making jewelry and, you know, starting to film content the way that I am doing now, that's when I lost that job. I got fired. So it was divinely orchestrated. But my point is that I would do anything for my boss, even if they were wrong, because I was so in love with them. I looked up to them. I put them on a pedestal. What they say I will do. I just respected them so much. I didn't have much self-respect for myself, but I have respect for them, and whatever they said, I did, and they were wrong a lot of the times. But the point is, I'm trying to make People be wrong, okay? And you staying around abusive people because you feel like, oh my gosh, I need these people to thrive, like, you're only setting yourself up for failure as a creative because you're not exploring more of your imagination. You're not exploring the realms of your mind. You're doing everything that's surface level. Like in my last video, everything you can see is surface level. So the things that you're used to doing is surface level. We know that you have that talent, but have you dig a bit deeper? And that's what this challenge is all about. Digging deeper, seeing yourself as a deeper artist, getting into your mind, getting with God, because God is the person, the spirit, the entity that is going to help you actually rise above surface level. So I love that she said this, because I've always said it, but people always made me seem me be the bad guy, and I've always felt like the bad guy. I've always felt like a bad person by pushing people outside of their means. And I don't like feeling like that, because then I feel like that about myself. People reject that from me, so then I reject that from myself because I think that I'm wrong. But in reality, Julia just confirmed that I've been right, and I need to do this with myself, and I need to do this with my peers around me, because I want us to tap so deep into God that we will win no matter what. It's gonna be impossible to fail because we're going beneath the surface. Like all good movie people, this crew was willing to work long hours for good work. What discouraged them was working those hours in service of ego instead of art. When ego takes over, it's hard to appreciate your art. Remember when I said I was a photographer and I ended up hating it because there was so much nasty people that I attracted due to learning the skill. I was freelancing and a lot of people were just very nasty to me for no reason. I have a lot of horror stories, okay? But they made me hate it. Their ego, their demanding, thinking that I have to do these things, like, made me hate it. And a lot of people, they don't discover more and only settle for what they want because of their own ego as well. When you are around a bunch of people who are only big-headed and filled with ego, it's hard to become and identify with art, because art is love. Art is a reflection of love. In the beginning of the video, I was literally crying because of how much creation can bring you to tears. I start to see the beauty in life. I start to see the details that God created within us. And I'm like, whoa, this is beautiful. This is art. It says God created these details in me, created these details in trees and just earth itself. You know that there's details in your creation. So you begin to appreciate it and love it and show up for it every day, because you know that this is meant for me to explore. But when you're around a bunch of people who don't appreciate your art for real, only to a level that it's building them up, and when it's not building them up, they're nowhere to be found, it's because that is from ego. It's not from love, and it's from a place of seeing that you are beneath them and they are above you. And since you are trying to place yourself on a level of love, which is not above anybody, but you're just respecting yourself now, they will not respect that. So it's better to respect yourself so that you can show up as the artist that you deserve. And that's a part of finding an identity, finding a new identity, shifting to the new identity within yourself. The crazy making dynamic is grounded in power, and so any group of people can function as an energy system to be exploited and drained. Crazy makers can be found in almost any setting, in almost any art form. Fame may help to create them, but since they feed on power, any power source will do. Although quite frequently crazy makers are found amongst the rich and famous, they are common even among commoners. Right in a nuclear family, there's a reason we use that word. A resident crazy maker may often be found pitting family members against family members, undercutting anyone's agenda but his or her own. It's really important that you get away from anybody who drains your energy to the point where you don't have energy to pour into yourself. You deserve so much more. Like, you deserve so much more. You need to get out of your own way. You need to let go of people that live in their ego to the point where they don't care about your art for real. Your art is like a sensitive place, just like your mind, just like your heart, okay? It's something that needs to be catered to like a baby. And when it's treated like something that can be thrown out and replaced, no, you're irreplaceable. Your energy, your work, everything about you is irreplaceable. And you need to start moving as such. And I'm so happy that this is happening, because it's showing me that I was always in the right direction. I was never wrong. I was always right. And it's not about being right. It is about being right, actually, because it's like what I was telling others, you know, I thought that I was a bad person by saying this, but having Julia basically re-say the same thing that I've been saying, it makes me feel more confident in what I have going on in myself, the advice I give, the way that I approach people about certain things, because I really want people to win. Not only do I want myself to win, I really want people to win. So when I see things like this is confirmation that yes, you were always right, your intuition was spot on, and you need to continue to follow that intuition, because that is God's way of communicating with you. And again, it's not about really being right. It's about not being the bad guy that people were portraying me as, because I was saying something that they didn't want to hear, because the truth hurts. I have been embarrassed of my artwork. All the jewelry that I've made, that I've shown you in this video, I was embarrassed of that. And I don't know why. I think it's because of the meaning behind evil eye and things like that. I know that a lot of people feel like evil eye is demonic and all this stuff. So it was like I wasn't confident in that fact. I wasn't confident in selling it. And that's how come I knew it wasn't for me anymore. And that I've outgrown that. I made that I started that jewelry around 2021. And it's just been chilling since then. And I am now having the confidence to go to metaphysical stores to go sell them, but it's the principle of being embarrassed in the first place. Being embarrassed about something that you created should never happen. Should never happen. The fact that I created a bunch of jewelry surrounding evil eye is something that I should be proud about. Regardless of what it really truly means, or the meaning behind it, or if people agree with it or not, at the end of the day, I made this necklace, I made this bracelet, I made this ring, I made it. That's what's special. I put my energy into it. I have good energy. I put my energy into it. So I made that. That's something that I should be proud of. No, regardless of what it means, regardless of what it looks like, I made it. Of course people are going to buy it. This isn't about an outcome. This isn't about any of that. It's about being proud about something that you made. You made it, you need to be proud of it. It doesn't matter. You need to be proud of it. The more proud you are, the more confident you'll be more in your creativity. And now that I look at myself in a different light, I look at the evil eye jewelry and all the stuff that I made in straight full confidence. I love what I did. I love what I created. Even though, yeah, it has a little meaning to it that many people may not agree with, I still made it. And that's what makes it special. And that's what's going to make it sell. Because I made that. The energy that comes with that bracelet, the energy that comes with that necklace, that's what people are going to be drawn to. So yeah, of course it's going to sell. Of course people are going to buy it because I created it. I put my energy into it. And at the time, that's what I was about. I was about evil eye. I was about spirituality. I was about crystals. I was about all that stuff. Even though I'm still low-key about that stuff, it's just not my aesthetic anymore. That used to be my aesthetic. I always change aesthetics. So like I changed aesthetics. I'm getting older now. That was like 4 years ago. But my point is, what came from me came from me. It was an idea. I executed it and I brought it to life. I should be proud of that. And you should be proud of it too, no matter what the outcome is. Crazy makers triangulate those they deal with, because crazy makers thrive on energy, your energy. They set people against one another in order to maintain their own power position dead center. That's where they can feed most directly on negative energies they stir up. You have to understand that energy is currency. Your energy is currency. And if you don't act as that your energy isn't currency, random people are going to come in and try to steal as much as they possibly can. It doesn't matter if they seem like a friend. People are very intentional. They're very intentional because they see your energy, they see your light, they see your worth before you do. Especially for my shadow artists, especially for my creatives that's completely afraid to really throw themselves out there. They figure, hey, let me take advantage of this person because I know that they want to be artistic, but I know that they're not going to be artistic in the way that I imagine them to be. Because I see their light. I know how good their work is. I value their work, but I'm going to devalue it by using this person as much as I can so that they don't even have the energy to even step foot into this creative endeavor if they truly wanted to, because they're going to be so worried about pleasing me because that's their goal anyway, because they don't even believe in themselves and their art and their work. But I believe in them. But I'm going to use that to my advantage. And that's why it's very important to understand when someone's trying to tell you and show you who you are, believe it. People can see it. People can see your potential before you do. So when someone's saying, hey, look, I think you should do this because I feel like you will go really far, that's God speaking through that person. God is literally trying to help you see the bigger vision for yourself so you can get away from the energies that take you away from yourself. When you are putting all this energy, all your creative juices into other people's works and ideas and not your own, it's like, okay, well, what now? You're continuously depending on others to bring this vision to life because you're not focusing on your own vision. You think that you need people, but you don't. You don't need their validation. They need yours. That's why they're using you, because you are creative. They like what you have to offer. They like your energy. You have to understand, if people are really friends, then they would allow me to be myself by creating whatever I want to create. And once you start creating what you want to create, and these people start to fall off, then you have to ask yourself, why was I trying to force this person to be something that they weren't in my life? And I've went through this so many times. That's why when it comes to these topics, I love talking about this, because yes, people can steal your energy if you allow them. And you shouldn't, because you are someone very big. And they know that. You just don't know it. So they take advantage of you not knowing it. Okay, y'all. So remember I said I was embarrassed to sell my jewelry in the past. Well, I'm selling it, and it's going to be sold because I said so. And I'm confident in my ability because, like I said, anything that you created, anything that God created through you, it's good. So don't be embarrassed, okay? Put yourself out there. Allow yourself to try. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm fixing these jewelries so I can sell them because I plan on selling them today. So I want to show you guys some jewelry that I've made in my past that I am now selling in bulk because yeah, this is jewelry that I made starting in 2021. I didn't have the confidence in this because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my art. I didn't think anybody would like me or my art, because I didn't like myself. The way that I viewed myself is the way that I viewed my art. So all this stuff has been just sitting around, and it's beautiful jewelry. Now that I'm like awakened to my creativity, it's so, you know, it's just spiritual jewelry. So I have all evil eye. I have big evil eye. I have bracelets, crystal bracelet. That one has a gold cross on it with diamonds. Like, how pretty. I made earrings. Okay. I made a rope necklace. This one's really cool because it's literally rope. Like, come on now. This one is a bracelet. It's a heart evil eye bracelet. Like, this stuff was beautiful. Oh, here's a moon shaped. Like, why wouldn't, like, this is literally the average. It's not average, but like, this is really like what people wear. Like, it's necklaces. Why would I not think that people would pay for it? I had an Etsy shop. I had a couple Etsy shop, but most of them got suspended because, again, like, I wasn't making any money. I wasn't making any sales. I didn't believe in myself. So, of course, my 3D reality will reflect that. But I now have elevated in fashion and elevated, like, to who I really am. That was like a phase, you know, that I was in, and I decided to make jewelry off of the phase I was in. So I no longer resonate with like this jewelry anymore, but I know that there's so many people that do, and I respect everybody's beliefs. I will respect everyone, because at some point this was literally my aesthetic, you know, earthy crystals, evil eye. Like, I was literally evil eye out. But I'm now like finding myself and like what type of jewelry that I like, and that's the jewelry that I really want to make. I wouldn't stick to this for life because this is just not who I am anymore. But I wasn't confident in it, and that's why it never sold. So my point is, when you create something because it's something that you want to create. And when you create it, the ability of it being sold is 100%. Just because you created it, you had the idea, and the reason why you had that idea, because it was meant to be sold. So don't let your fear stop you from really selling your stuff. You deserve to make money from your art and your products. So I just wanted to share that little backstory, because I am packing all my stuff up and I'm going to sell it, and it's going to be gone. And after I sell it, I'm going to celebrate myself for finally accomplishing something I've been trying to accomplish since 2021. This is going to be my last video for this week. Just because I feel like I don't want to make these videos too long. I really want people to understand the power of the artist way. This is my second week into this book. I want to say that this is a woman of God. Julia Cameron is a woman of God. And let me tell you why. Because people have a definition of the woman of God, and I don't listen to their definition. A woman of God to me is someone that awakens the power in your mind, in your soul, and in your heart to step into fully what God has aligned for you to do in your life. Because you are here to show how divine God love is, because the world is filled with hate. And in the beginning of this week, I was crying a lot because there was so much love that I was feeling that I literally couldn't stop crying. And a lot of people were probably like, oh my gosh, why are you crying on camera? That's a lame thing to do. It's not lame when you feel the presence of God everywhere. And I don't I don't think that people truly understand the level of divineness in every single day-to-day life. And I think my purpose, I know my purpose now. And this is just week 2
into this book. I didn't even finish reading the chapter yet, but when you read this book, excuse me, confirmation, 'cause I don't know where that came from. When you read this book, everything around you is gonna start to fall apart. And for me, I'm already in a mental space, healing wise. I spent 3 years healing with God without no book. My book is coming soon, okay? But since I've healed with God already, it's like I already know a lot of the things that this book is saying, but this book is opening me up by writing. And it's also opening me up because it's confirming everything that I've already felt, but I thought I was crazy for feeling, because when I would explain it to people, they wouldn't see it the way that I would see it. And it's because people aren't meant to see certain things until you fully see it. Once you fully see it, once you accept it, once you live in it, that's when everybody else around you will start to see it. That's when things are going to start aligning. So I know what life I'm creating. I know who I am, and I know what God wants me to do. And the most important thing that I want everyone to take from this challenge that I'm doing, and the most thing that I want everybody to take from me, is love. And true love. Not romantic relationships, being in a... No. God's love and how it's present 24/7 once you really truly tap in. And this is not going to be something that I can just explain. This is something that I want to show in the most creative way. And creativity is the foundation of love. And if you don't tap into your creativity as a creator, you're not going to tap into the divine love, because you're not going to realize how everything around you is creation. Ego death plays a huge role in accepting this too, because the amount of ego deaths that I had to go through to get to this point. And I'm not trying to make that into a limited belief, because not everybody, has experienced trauma like I did. But for my trauma survivors, my people who've been through abuse, the amount of ego deaths that you're going to have to feel is real, but it's something that's needed. It's something that you're going to enjoy, because nothing's greater than this feeling that I'm in now. Nothing's greater than knowing your power and really understanding who you are. Nothing, I'm telling you, nothing is more power than that inner knowing. And now that I'm really fully understanding my inner knowing and why everything happened the way that it did, there's no stopping me. And we're going to end it there. So I will see you next week. And I will see you on my artist date. You already know I'm going to post that as a separate video.